Thank you guys. I appreciate this, and guys keep going. You guys are like the first people I see doing the podcasting like in the boxing scene. So I like this right here. Like
Right.
you guys just like put together, well put together. So that's the
Appreciate
type
that,
of
champ.
things I like to watch. So
Make sure
I
you
just
tell
encourage you guys to
everybody.
keep going.
Appreciate it, champ.
Tell everybody. Welcome to Counterpunch Conversations. I'm your host, Sheik Brown-EL, co-host Rock. What's up, Rock?
What's up, brother?
Back for another episode of Counterpunch Conversations. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Man, it's a lot going on in boxing right now. A lot going on in boxing. A lot of news from back in the day we got to talk about. Got to talk about some of the amateur news that's going on. We got a great interview today with Troy Nash. We talked about him last week. We talked about him going through that 56-man bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk to him today and his dad and see what they up to. Talk to him about that tournament and talk to them about what they got ahead after the trials and things like that. So pretty exciting show we got going on.
Yeah, they out of Colorado, right?
Yeah, they live in Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado Springs. They right there by the
Training center.
They go there all the time.
So they get an altitude advantage.
Oh, yeah. And they do a lot of work with Bud Crawford, too. They work with Bud Crawford a lot, Keyshawn Davis. So we're going to talk to them today. Got an exciting topic to talk about, too. So let's just get right off into the topic and discuss the topic for the day.
Let's dive in.
Micah, give me that bell. All right. So today's topic I want to talk about, I seen an interview with Bob Arum. It was an old interview from the 80s. And Bob Arum was talking about pay-per-view and how pay-per-view was going to change the game. It was going to change the world. I guess this was probably Bob Arum still had black hair, so or brown hair, whatever it was. He didn't look like he looked right now.
And a full head.
Yeah, the forehead. So whatever year it was, but he was talking about how pay-per-view was the future. So I want to kind of talk about that because, I really want to know if pay-per-view has killed boxing. Some people say pay-per-view has killed boxing. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that made a lot of money from pay-per-view. Floyd Mayweather is a pay-per-view star. I think he said, I seen something where he said he bought himself out his contract with Bob Arum and Top Rank for $750,000.
Yeah.
And then 2 fights with Canelo and Conor McGregor, he said he made $750 million.
Yeah. And he was a pay-per-view star, but what really rocketed Floyd wasn't just talent. He came along at the right time. It was kind of in the middle and the height of the reality TV era. Because those 24/7 series captivated, the attention of the nation. Mm-hmm. Really captivated the attention of the nation. I know it was the first time I saw, mid-work and saw actual boxing training from that standpoint, from an in-depth standpoint. And that's when I first started actually thinking about, hey, maybe my son can box.
Right.
And then that came from looking at that 24/7 series and looking at little cash flow Diaz, doing the mid-work and things of that nature right there. So, the Mayweather era, it did a lot.
Yeah. So, I've been watching stuff dealing with pay-per-view and seeing how boxing is not as respected as so many other sports. I was, watching how what's going on with boxing and how boxing is like, it's almost like a taboo sport. You know what I mean? Like, you look at high school, and high school has football and baseball and basketball, wrestling even, which is an Olympic sport. But boxing is not in high schools, But I know in the 60s it used to be. And I think boxing is frowned upon in the United States. And my question is always like, why is football not frowned upon? Because football is way more dangerous than boxing, in my opinion. I mean, in boxing, you got to fight somebody that's in your weight class. your age division. But in football, you can, you're a little running back and you run and get hit by somebody that's 2 times heavier than you. So it's, but anyway, so my question is, has pay-per-view killed boxing? So.
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't think pay-per-view hurt boxing from that standpoint. I think what hurts boxing is, number one, from a grassroots level, not being part of the NCAA.
Right.
If it's a part of the NCAA, then it's in every high school. If it's in every high school, it's in every middle school.
Right.
And if it's in every middle school, then you got middle school rivalries, high school rivalries.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Collegiate rivalries.
That's what I'm talking about. And then, but here's the thing: those sports are also on nationally televised TV. Super Bowl is the biggest draw in sports. Mm-hmm. So all of these sports are on national TV. So you get to, these people are household names. They're in college. They are household names. You don't see that in boxing.
Exactly. But imagine if boxing was in the SEC. Imagine if University of Alabama, Auburn, or Georgia had boxing teams. Then
what are you saying?
Then what am I saying?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that if boxing was a part of the NCAA and was in colleges and universities, then you would develop grassroots rivalries amongst schools, which would then mean those same loyalties will follow the boxers off into the pros.
Well, we saying the same thing, I think.
Yeah, we are.
We saying that. Well, we haven't really gotten into it, but we pretty much saying the same thing.
Yeah, but what I think, if you look at the professional sports,
right,
the main thing that differentiates boxing from professional sports is organization.
Right.
See, the things that the NCAA, not the NCAA, the things that the NBA, NFL, soccer, as well as Major League Baseball have in common is they're all 501c4 organizations. They're nonprofits. And they're also
501c4 or 3?
No, they're 501c4s.
I don't know about 501c4.
Well, see, it's a small difference. C4s you can take C3s. It's all about how the reporting. I ain't gonna get off into the minutia of it.
Right.
But they're 501c4 organizations. But what happens with that is that because they're organized and because they're in leagues, they have television contracts. And when you got a television contract, that's where the money has come from in the past.
Right.
The pool of money sent to each league, the league divides it up amongst each team.
So hold on, let's step right there. Right, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? The fact that now you see Top Rank getting they got a TV deal with ESPN, right? Mm-hmm. So boxing is on regular TV. I don't know what happened with the deal with PBC
and Fox.
And
yes, they want ESPN too at first.
Well, but they had the Fox deal. I don't know what happened with that. Mm-hmm. But these are the things that I think, I believe, just get off into it, you know what I'm saying? I really think that pay-per-view has killed boxing. Let me say this. Not killed boxing, right? I don't think pay-per-view has killed boxing. Of course, I think boxing is a major sport. It's going to continue to grow. We're in boxing, so I don't think it's killed boxing. But I think that it makes it as taboo as it is because it's not mainstream. The first, we go back to the first pay-per-view event, which is what? When was that?
1960 something.
60 something. What was the fight? We just
looked it up. I forget the name of it, but it was for like $2.
Right. So that was the first pay-per-view event, right? But then you had, I think one of the first mainstream pay-per-view events was 1981, which was Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, right? And and Bob Arum said at that time that pay-per-view was going to be the biggest thing. It was going to take over boxing. It was going to be great for boxing, all of these type of things. But remember, Muhammad Ali, when they used to fight in those world title fights, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, these fights would be 15-round heavyweight championship fights on CBS, man. You know what I mean? With commercial ads and everything else. And I just believe that boxing would be just as big as the NFL or the NBA, right? I believe it would be just as big if boxing was on mainstream TV. If we could turn on CBS and see Errol Spence fight Terrence Crawford. And I think the bag could be, excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think the bag would be just as big because if they were able to build those relationships to get those contracts. Go ahead.
But I mean, I think the problem with that theory is that boxing is such an individual sport. It's hard for an individual just to break through and get those numbers. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I think part of the reason that hurt the PBC and really that's hurting ESPN right now is number one is that businesses, for some reason, they don't like to advertise during boxing shows.
Right.
It's difficult to do it. I don't know if it's because of how boxing is made up, with the 3-minute round, 1 minute during the corner break. A lot of times you don't want to cut to a commercial because what's going on in the corner is true. Actually part of the drama. So it's kind of hard to advertise. That's why they went to the split screen to show commercials on the split screen, and then show what's going on in the corners.
Well, that's a good point. Too. That's a good point you make, because I like to see the corner. I like to see, for me, outside of being a boxing fan and me being involved in the sport and me being a coach and working corners, a lot of times between the rounds, I want to see, are they making the right adjustments? What is the coach? What is the trainer telling him between the rounds? Are they making the right adjustments? So that's a good point. I guess we had to figure out when.
Exactly. Can they stop the cut? Can they stop the bleeding? What's going on in the corner? How is it? Right. What is the corner man telling the fighter? Is he telling them the truth? Right. You losing. You need to go out here and do this, or what are the instructions? All that's part of the drama of boxing. Boxing is almost like a movie. Right. It's like a live movie production going on.
Right.
And so, I just think that boxing, the Top Rank is with ESPN, right? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't it make sense for Top Rank, TMT, PBC, Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, wouldn't it make sense, Tom Brown Promotion, whoever else, wouldn't it make sense for all the big guys to come in and try to work out an agreement with ESPN to televise all their fighters?
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. But I don't know how it would work. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to figure out how they're going to make it work. I just believe that pay-per-view is a problem for boxing. The way that pay-per-view has become. I mean, you're charging people $80, $100 for a fight that at their living room. You can probably get a ticket for less than pay-per-view at some points in time.
But it's not a problem for the UFC. It's not a problem for Dana White now. And all those UFC events.
I mean, but UFC took a page out of boxing,
and they don't. But they took a page out of boxing, and the UFC fighter, they don't make any money. That's why. What do you mean
they don't make money.
They don't make money. Like the biggest stars in UFC, they don't make money. They don't. Why you think Ngannou he made like $800,000 the last fight?
$800,000.
The world. So he didn't make $800,000, and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Wait a minute.
And John Ruiz won't get in the ring for $800,000.
Are you telling me $800,000 ain't no money?
I'm telling you, ain't no money. It's not the money for the heavyweight champion of the world as far as UFC is concerned.
It's UFC.
Exactly.
Right.
But they're on a pay-per-view. They're on a pay-per-view model. But they're not. But they're fighters and they're fighters.
I don't know much about UFC. Are they sharing in the revenue?
No, man.
They don't get like back end from pay-per-view buys.
They slaves.
So Dana White getting all that,
killing it. I mean, not the PBC. The UFC was sold to a company for billions and billions of dollars. I think the Furtado brothers and Dana White cashed out. Dana White is still running the organization.
But whoever they are, they get the Furtado brothers.
I think it's the Furtado brothers.
The drug dealer dudes?
No, not the drug dealer. They was in like casinos.
Oh, so you saying that? So whoever shares in the revenue don't share it with the fighters?
No, they get what
UFC. Come on, do right by these people. Share in the revenue at least. If you're going to do pay-per-view, share in the revenue. Come on now.
And what Dana White would tell you is shut the hell up talking about our industry. You y'all stay in boxing. Don't worry about how we do stuff over here.
That's crazy.
But it's a reason why Conor McGregor and the Maloney
came to boxing.
And the Maloney guy is trying to fight Tank now.
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz
came and got a bag from
exactly.
He was in the ring playing. He was so happy.
But that's my whole point. Nate Diaz made more money fighting Jake Paul in that fight than he made his entire career.
How much did he make
in UFC
against Jake Paul?
I don't know how much it was, but I remember that's what I read. That he said he was making more money during that fight right there than he made in his entire career.
That's crazy. So, speaking of, just about the pay-per-view thing, if it killed boxing, I was reading an interview that Evander Holyfield gave, and he said, and I quote him, I'm going to read it. I quote him, he said, "What's hurting boxing is they're not putting it on free television," which is my point. He said, when you put anything on television that represents somebody, every person that gets out represents somebody.
True. Well, let me ask you this: how you gonna put something on free television, right?
Yeah.
When you got, the old school like Jim Lampley and them people like that just tearing boxers down. Notice that there is a distinct difference.
That's a whole nother topic.
But that's true too. Yeah. But Joe Rogan,
yeah.
You don't hear him. Joe Rogan uplifts the UFC.
That's why
you don't hear boxing commentators doing this.
That's why
they
like
tearing each other down.
When I watch boxing, I'll watch it at live and listen to the commentators. But like if I'm a lot of times when I watch the good fights that I want to see, I'll watch it for the event purposes, right?
I cut the commentating off.
Well, I do that when I go back and watch it. That's what I'm saying. And when it's live, I'll listen to commentators because they funny, right?
I can't listen to them because they make me mad.
I don't like Tim Bradley at all. Tim Bradley, man, I don't like how you were a boxer, you were a good boxer, and you do a lot of our people wrong, man. Tim Bradley I think he's a hater, man.
I think what Tim Bradley is trying to be.
You like Tim Bradley?
No. I like Tim Bradley, the fighter, but
Do you like Tim Bradley as a commentator?
Absolutely not.
Right.
He's like something. It's like every now and then.
Look at the camera and tell him you don't like him.
Tim Bradley, I have a problem with your commentary, brother. I really have a problem with your commentary as it relates to African American boxers.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. I don't like Tim Bradley, bro. Anyway. Let's get into another. But
he tap dancing for corporate America, but his ESPN just laid off a bunch of folks. Tim want to keep his check coming.
So he going to just...
And the easiest way to keep your check coming is to bash who? African American male boxers. Right. Because nobody going to stand up for us, right?
Well, let me say this first of all.
Let's say we the bad guys. They're the bad guys.
Let me say this, because you just said African American a couple times. Sidebar here. You say African American a couple times. Africa is a continent that has 55 countries. They got to be from somewhere. There's no such thing as an African American. It got 55 countries in Africa, man.
Without question. And congratulations to the continent of Africa for entering into the African Continental Free Trade Association, where in the first time in the history of the continent, all 55 countries have agreed to do intra-continental trade with each other. Right. Shout out.
They trying to make a United States of Africa.
That's what they should have done.
I was just talking to somebody earlier about I want to move to Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. They're all accepting us.
Free passport. A free passport. You relocate there and they give you automatic citizenship.
Yeah, I want to go to Ghana, man.
Yeah, I want to go. I've never been to Africa. I definitely want to visit. Go to the doors of no return.
Man, you can get you a palace, man, for $100,000.
Oh yeah, without question. The dollar goes a long way.
So anyway, let's
back on track.
Let's talk about that Evander Holyfield interview, though. He said it's hurting boxing that boxing is not put on free television, man. And I think that's the truth, man. I really believe that's the truth. And I don't know how they would make it happen because there's so much money being generated. When there's a lot of money they making the money that's coming across pay-per-view right now, mm-hmm. I believe is
You're right. But listen. Evander would have been right. I'm not going to say he would have been right ever. But what I will say is this right here. Linear television is dying. Right. What we doing
that's true too.
What we doing right now.
I'll put it on YouTube then.
Hey, that would be my thing. I would love for my son to go
put it on
YouTube.
Put it on free YouTube. You're going to monetize off the views. So put it on free YouTube. Exactly. Let everybody watch it on YouTube.
Exactly. And then if you wanted,
or Amazon Prime,
well, you really could put it on YouTube, put it on your channel, and then charge people to subscribe.
Because
I think that's the future too.
NFL Thursday night football is on Amazon Prime, and I think that's the only place it is.
It's on Amazon Prime, and they also have you can get a YouTube ticket TV also.
Yeah,
YouTube
Sunday. So that's what I'm saying. So okay, free television is dying, but there are places we can put it without having to charge the fans $80.
But the whole point is how the boxers gonna get paid though.
What do you mean?
How they gonna get paid?
How did the promoter? That's what I'm saying. That's not our business, right? It ain't our business to try to figure out how they can make it work. You see,
but if the boxers don't eat, they're not gonna move their feet.
But what I'm saying is, it's not our business to try to figure out how they can make it work. I'm just saying they can make it work. It's a way to make it work.
But it has to make dollars and cents.
Listen, if I could figure out how to make it work, I'm gonna be a promoter and make it work.
Without question, but I mean,
I don't know how they're gonna make it work.
Linear
All
TV.
I'm saying is free TV is the way to go. Some kind of way for boxing. Give the boxers a platform to showcase their talents for the world to know them. Even like we part of USA Boxing. We're USA Boxing coaches, right?
True.
Why on earth is the amateur boxing tournaments not on TV?
Because
at least the elite, at least the youth and the elite divisions, because that's like college.
I mean, it's on YouTube streaming.
Nah, come on, man. Come on, bro.
But see, that's the whole point. It used to be on the Olympic trials and everything used to be on. And I think everybody loves boxing, and it would actually I think it will actually work. People would love to see it. The problem is, I think a lot of the problem is a lack of foresight and lack of vision on part of the leadership. I really think USA Boxing ought to be part of the NCAA.
Listen,
even though the NCAA is dying,
I think that right now it's only two type of people that buy pay-per-view, and that's hardcore boxing fans,
true,
and casual fans that's drawn to the particular event. Like if it's Earl Spence and Bud Crawford,
and not even them. If it's Ryan Garcia and Tank because of the social media presence.
The Ryan Garcia but definitely listen. I'm from Baltimore. I say that all the time. Sorry, y'all. I know I say it all the time,
right.
But no, because I know people gonna say, man, I done probably said it on this podcast 6 or 7 times.
Y'all from BMO, you from Proud though. I'm from Alabama.
I'm not really that proud of Baltimore. Sorry, Baltimore. I'm not that proud of you. I'm from there, But what I'm saying is, this is my point. My point is, Tank is from Baltimore, right?
Yes.
Javante Davis. He's from Baltimore. The whole Baltimore show up for him.
Yes.
And they buy the pay-per-view and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of these people are not even boxing fans. I talk to people, I got family members from Baltimore. They don't know the first thing about boxing, but the first thing they ask me, Tank, what do you think about, Tank? And I'm like, is that all you know?
But you know why they know Tank? Because the biggest boxer in the history of boxing, and probably the number one sports personality over the course of the last 30 years, right? Other than Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather stamped and co-signed Tank. Once Floyd Mayweather stamped and co-signed Tank, Tank went from being a local attraction who knocking people out to having national acclaim in the sports world because Floyd co-signed him. If Floyd don't co-sign Tank is not doing what he's doing right now. The Mayweather influence is big.
I don't know that that's true, right?
There's a lot of folk out there knock, man.
Right.
What he got?
I don't know that.
What he got special? He light skinned. He 5'5". He knock folk out. What's special?
Floyd Mayweather promotions.
Money made.
All the people that Floyd done promoted. And you telling me he promoted Tank and that's something different?
It's only been one boxer coming through Mayweather promotion that he personally put his seal of approval on.
Who?
Javante Tank Davis. Is he the one? What did Floyd say? You're fucking right. He's the one. Well, he's the one. Or something to that effect.
Yeah, he's there. Right.
When Floyd stamped Tank with that moniker, it skyrocketed Tank's career. It made people look. It made people pay attention. Now, it don't hurt that when Tank gets in the ring, he knocking folk out. He one hit a quitter. I mean, he boxed.
I don't know that that's right, man. I get what you're saying, but I don't know that that's true.
How else?
I don't know that because Floyd stamped him is why. I don't know that that's true.
Is each individual boxer in and of himself or herself, they're a business. They're all LLCs.
Right.
What's the number one thing in business that you need? Marketing. You can't have and for Floyd Mayweather to stamp you as the one, you can't get a bigger marketing platform. I mean, when Floyd did that, he got the eyes of Floyd. Got 30 million followers on Instagram. Right. When Floyd did that, he put the eyes of the world on Tank, and then Tank started knocking people out. And once Tank started knocking people out,
Floyd done said that about other people too.
Who?
I mean, he always says somebody is.
No, not the Leo guy who had
Well, he just said it. He just said the same thing about.
It's only one of the boss he did that for.
Who?
Carmel.
Yeah, Carmel. He brought Carmel to.
Name another one that he stamped.
But Carmel, we'll find out what's gonna happen.
Name another one that he stamped. All right.
He stamped Jaleel Hackett.
He he ain't stamped Jaleel.
Yes, he did.
He said go out and follow Jaleel, but he ain't just specifically just proclaim.
Yeah, you might be right.
He ain't just specifically proclaim that Jaleel is the next big thing, the next Floyd Mayweather.
You're right.
Might break his record. He ain't specifically just gave. Shout out to Bernard, and Jaleel.
Maybe I wanted him to say that because Jaleel was my man.
I love Bernard. I met Bernard at Sugarbird Boxing down in Florida. Love Bernard. Much respect to him and Jaleel. So, but the only person that he stamped was Tank, and once he stamped Tank skyrocketed. I mean,
you might be right, man.
I mean, think about it. I mean,
you might be right.
Think about it. There's a lot of people knock folk out.
Yeah.
Tank ain't got no dynamic personality. You really think about it. Tank is really kind of introverted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tank is really kind of introverted. He's soft spoken. He coming out of his shell now.
Really opinionated on this, man. You like?
I've thought about it.
I can tell.
I thought about it, and the Mayweather effect is real. Money May.
I don't know.
I mean, from the boxing.
I'm not going to argue with you, but but you might be right. You might be right. But I know Tank is the biggest star in boxing right now. He's
the biggest star in boxing, and the only reason he's the biggest star in boxing, it called Floyd did this. Doom.
All right. Well, we've been off on this topic for a while, so I'm going to kind of transition off of this.
What round it was?
Huh?
What round was this?
What you mean?
This is the first round?
Yeah, I guess, if that's what you call it.
Rock Pitts wins first round.
I didn't even argue with you. I didn't even argue with you. I'm just saying pay-per-view.
I know.
Pay-per-view, I think kill boxing. But
I think them racist white folks, especially Jim Lampley and them people like that off HBO that went out of business, I think they kill boxing. And if you
the views that are being expressed are not the views of Counterpunch Conversations. These are Rock Pitts views.
All right, but anyway,
man,
maybe I shouldn't say the R word. What Dante Boston Nations call them? I'm trying to figure out. I can't figure out what Dante calls.
You just plugging podcasts around here?
It gonna play. Dante gonna be like, shout out to Counterpunch Conversation and Rock Pitts and Sheik for bringing this up one day. They gonna plug us too, baby.
All right.
We coming.
All right.
We coming.
All right. Well, that was a cool conversation.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Hey, so joining us again on our amateurs highlight segment, always Latyia Brown-EL, 18-time national champion. Gotta always point that out, right?
Superstar.
You know.
And she pretty, beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That's money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So she joins us for our amateur highlight segment. She's our amateur analyst, amateur boxing analyst.
That's
so
ABA.
Yeah. So last episode we talked about the last chance qualifier, and we mentioned Troy Nash, 139 elite.
Bad man.
Man went through a 56-man bracket, Rob.
He's a light-skinned killer.
Why you gotta say the man light-skinned? That's crazy.
He light-skinned. He light-skinned. He fight well. He'll kill.
That's borderline racist.
How is that racist?
I don't think it's racist.
It ain't racist, bro. Light-skinned. Listen,
Anyway,
I'm light-skinned in my family. On the pit side, they black as your hair.
all right, man. But anyway, so Troy went through.
You think I'm playing? Go ahead.
Troy went through a 56-man bracket, man. His first elite tournament. That's crazy, man. That's just. I mean, I've always been a fan of Troy Nash because he's always flown under the radar, man. I don't think this kid has gotten the recognition that he deserves. He's starting to now. Mm-hmm. People are starting to know him, especially.
Right time.
Yeah, he beat Zaquin Moses.
You always said that though about him.
I know it.
Yeah, you always said he didn't get the notoriety that he should for his talent.
Yeah, and he just, I mean, if nobody knows who he is, they better know now. He went through a 56-man bracket on his first elite tournament. That's huge, man, to me.
Who's number one at 139 as far as the team is concerned?
The elite team?
The elite team. Who's the competition?
I don't know. Maybe Troy know. We'll ask him because we got him.
Yeah, he'll definitely know.
So coming to the ring, we got 139 elite, 139 pound elite champion in the last chance qualifier. We got Troy Nash. Give me the bell, Micah. What's up, Troy? What's up, champ?
What's up?
Not much. Just chilling, enjoying my victory for now.
Yeah. Did you train today?
No, I took today off. Just chilled. I just chilled today. That's it.
It's only right. Hey, man, we just been marveling over the work that you put in, man. It's just incredible, man. You know that you would
Yes, sir. Thank you.
your first elite tournament, you would go in a
Sir.
stacked division like that. I don't think it was a division. I don't think it was a weight division that as stacked as that one at the last chance qualifier, was it? I know
Nah,
76 was
my
coming
bad. I didn't
through.
mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But the 125 they had like 39 people.
And that was the biggest one besides yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
56 people.
And you know your
Crazy.
father, man, that's my man. And
I'll
he,
break it.
you know, he told me, he told me before the tournament. He said, "I guarantee that we win it." I said, "Man, I'm
Yes,
not."
sir.
I told him, I said, "Man, I'm not the man to convince. I believe you. You know what I mean? Because I know how hard you work, champ." So,
Yes, sir.
you know, congratulations again. This is the first time I talked to you since the end of the tournament. So, congratulations again, man. I don't expect big things from you from this point.
Yes, sir. Thank
You
you.
know what I mean? So, got Sarai over here. Of course, you know the champ, Sarai. Sarai is our amateur analyst. That's what I call her, amateur analyst. So, Sarai's going to talk to you and interview you. We're going to go back and forth and just, you know, but she's just going to be, you know, she's included in this. She's going to talk to you and we just going to dialogue, man. Relax,
Yes, sir.
man. Relax and kick back. Yeah, there you
All
go.
right.
I know you've done this before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't, you're gonna do it a bunch. You're gonna do it a bunch more times if you haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, sir.
So, Sarai, go ahead, take it away.
Well, first off, congratulations. You showed crazy skills. I watched some of the fights. But I was just going to ask like a few questions. Some questions that you probably heard multiple times. But how did you start boxing? Like, how old were you? And like how did you get into it?
Honestly, I started boxing at like 6 years old, I think. Maybe younger than that, but like from what I remember, but like my uncles and my dad, they all used to box it, but they like the only person that took it serious was my uncle. And you know, when I went to school, I used to get into a lot of fights and stuff. So my uncle told me to check out the gym and come by and stuff. So my dad, he didn't want to like he didn't used to whoop me, like he didn't used to believe in that type of stuff because of things he went through. So he just wanted me to learn discipline in another way. So I tried out boxing and then I just fell in love with it.
So you took it like real serious at that age, or was it like a hobby, or like something you just like wanted to go do? Like sometimes you just go to the gym and like work out a little bit, or was you taking it like serious? Like from there, you was like, I want to be a world champion.
Honestly, at first I was just doing it just to do it, but I say like my second month going, Adrian Broner, he started training at the gym we were going to. So seeing people like that, and they were keeping me motivated, you know, seeing him come to the gym and then a couple weeks later he's fighting on TV for world titles. I was like, oh yeah, I want to take this serious because I see how they're doing this stuff.
This was at Santiago's
Now, we went to this gym called Old School, and that's the first gym we started off at.
in
And that's
Colorado.
where, in Colorado, yep. And that's where AB started going. Him, Hank Lundy, Jamel Herring,
Wow,
Robert Eastern, all of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they used to have all his campsite in Colorado Springs. That's when AB was AB.
Yeah, but I didn't know he went to the same gym Troy and went to. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was like 2011, 2012.
So that must have been like some good like inspiration and like good motivation
Yeah.
while you in the gym with world champions and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
So like, who are some of your like biggest inspirations in boxing? Like, who you look up to the most, like right now?
Dude, I'll probably have to say Bud, because I see how hard he works in the gym. I don't see no fighter outworking him, so and I'm also around him a lot. So
You
just
spar
being
with him
around
too,
him,
right?
man. I moved around with him, not nothing
Yeah, I
serious
mean,
though.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably say Bud. You know, now that I'm getting older, I really don't look up to too many boxers no more like that because I see them in a couple years. I feel like they're gonna be my competition. So
I hear you.
I ain't really looking up to them like that no more. So, Bud's my one of the inspirations though for sure.
Champ said they gonna be his competition. He ain't looking up to nobody.
Boxing, the only sport where idols become rivals. I mean,
Yeah.
You see that
Facts.
with Devin and taking pictures with him and Gamboa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's like some of your favorite like boxers, like amateur or pro? Like who's some of your favorite? Like who do you think got like the best IQ? Like you see who got the best IQ? Like it could be any gender. Like.
Shoot, I feel like Devin, his IQ is like slept on because people always just talk about he hoes or something like that. That's all I hear is all he has is a jab. But for him to be winning fights with just a jab, I mean, he got to have high IQ to be getting past these world champions doing it with just a jab. So
yeah,
I agree 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jab took him
So I
around the
say
world.
Devin.
What about amateurs?
Amateurs, I watch a few amateurs, but I probably say my little brother Jerome Penrose. That's like one of the fighters I watch as an amateur. I don't watch too many amateurs, but I say him because he's only 13 years old, but he fights so good, like better than most grown men.
I gotta watch him.
Yeah.
I know your
Yeah,
dad.
he's cold.
Your dad been telling me about him. I gotta watch him.
Yeah.
So, we know that you've been winning like nationals, like back to back and stuff, and you have been under like a lot of people's radar. Like you don't hear like you didn't really hear like a lot. Like like why do you think that was? Like why do you think you was a lot of
Like your name is not mentioned a lot.
Mentioned a lot.
It's because of social media. You know, when I was younger, I didn't used to post on social media. I was like stuck in the mentality of they're just gonna see me fighting. And you know, in this generation, you can't do that. You got to be on social media a lot. So that's really one of the main things. And my dad, he always used to be on me about it, like posting to get out
Mine
there
too.
more. But I never used to post like that. So a lot of people didn't really know who I was till they see me fight. But like all the true boxing people, like in the amateur circle, even in the pro circle, they know who I was. But now I'm starting to get more and more recognition because I've been getting on social media more.
Right.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
could be it. Rock said earlier that probably because you live in Colorado Springs, but
That too.
yeah, but I think it's more the social media aspect.
It's definitely
'cause
social media.
I think Sarai has the same problem sometimes. You know, they put a lot
like
of
posting.
but they put a lot of females ahead of her, and I'd be like, you know, being her father, I'd be like, you crazy. You know what I mean? They don't really mention her. They'll be like, and I'd be like, you gone crazy. But I think that'd be the dad in me. But
Well, since then, I think like you gained like a lot of like respect after you fought Zay, and there was a lot of
Zaquin
talk.
Moses.
Yeah, there was a lot of like talk like around like that fight, like just a lot of people going back and forth. Like, can you talk about like the events leading up to that?
Yeah. So when
trauma.
Zay beat Carmel, me and my dad were in Vegas for the well, we was actually there for my cousin Robert Merriweather's fight, but
Right. Robert Merriweather.
something happened, but something happened and the fight got canceled.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, something happened where his fight got canceled, but we were already there for the Benavidez versus Plant.
Right.
So we had floor seats. We were on the floor. So out of nowhere, I seen Shakur and his cousin, I think his name Teray. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in June. And they started getting super hype. And then my dad started talking, and we just exchanged info. And then we were just saying like, let's do it. Let's make it happen in June. So we went to the tournament in June, and I thought I was gonna see him in the finals because he had just won the tournament before that.
Right.
So I thought he was gonna be like the number 2 seed or something. But he ended up being like my first fight, but I was his second fight because he wasn't seeded. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just get him right out the way then. So it was kind of better. I feel like that it was one of the first days because it had my name ringing the whole entire tournament.
Right. So let's go back to where y'all was at in Las Vegas. So how was that? Describe that atmosphere. Like bring us into that environment. So y'all sitting on the floor, and then so who initiated that? You just went up to him like I'm gonna see y'all, or how did that go?
Shakur really initiated it.
I was gonna say Shakur initiated.
He was walking past us, and I looked at him, and he said, "Yeah, we on you in June. We on you." And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna see." So
was Zay there?
We start getting. Can you say that again? My bad.
Was Zay there?
Oh nah, Zay was still in Detroit.
Okay.
So yeah, when Shakur walked past, him and his cousin, all them was like, yeah, we on you in June, and I was just laughing, and my dad he started talking, and
Yeah, I already know.
Jared Anderson, he was there
Yeah.
too, and he was
Did he
like,
say
"Oh, I
something?
got to check you out."
Oh.
He followed me on Instagram and stuff because he was like, for y'all to be talking like that, and when we were talking about, there's like he knew that I had skill for real. Nobody just gonna talk or do what we was doing if they don't believe in themselves.
Right,
So
right.
it was crazy. We're on the floor with millionaires, and
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's looking at us, taking pictures of us going back and forth. So it was cool.
Right, right. I seen the post when they first put it up. I seen Shakur post. Well, I seen your dad and Shakur back and forth in the thing, and they was talking about money. Did they bet money?
Yeah, yeah. I won't disclose the
Yeah.
amount, but yeah,
We might not be
they
able to
bet
talk.
money though.
Well, it was on the thing, man.
I know, but we
just
don't
seen
know we
it.
can talk about that now.
Well, it was on the thing. It was public. I'm not talking about
I
nothing
get
that
that.
wasn't public.
Okay.
Chill out.
They ain't imaging like this.
It was on the. It was wasn't it public?
Yeah, that
Right,
was public.
right.
Everybody know.
Yeah.
You know, it was a cool amount.
That was in
Yeah,
Texas,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I watched that fight. I was there.
Oh, I was ringside,
Yes,
bro. I was pumped. And he was pumped. Troy was pumped in the ring.
Yeah, I watched that fight.
So I remember the fight, right? And I remember,
Yeah.
so I was sitting ringside, but I couldn't hear a lot that was going on in the ring. Like I seen y'all talking trash back and forth. And it was this one moment, right, where the bell rang and you said something to him. And it was crazy. Like, what did you say?
I was just telling him like, you can't hang with me. You know, it's levels to this, and
Right.
he not on that level.
Right.
What was the final
I think it was
tally?
4-1 split.
4-1 split?
Wasn't it 4-1? Or what was
Nah,
it?
it was 5-0.
5-0. Okay.
Oh, so he was easy work.
Yeah.
He wasn't easy work,
Nah,
but
I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
he
he was
wasn't
easy
easy
work,
work.
but
Nah.
I've been in there
It
with
was a
some
good
real
fight,
killers,
bro.
you know, like I fought some people like Justin Valoria, like that dude's he's super good, and like I done fought the best of the best, and you know, so this it was a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but it was everybody talked about it because it's Shakur's cousin. Like
Right.
Yeah.
same thing with me when I make it to that level. All my people behind me, they're gonna be super big because of who their big cousin is or who their family is. So that's why it was so talked about. Don't get me wrong, he's skilled, but I've been
It's
in there
levels.
with like real
Yeah.
killers.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy though? While I was watching the fight, and I think me and my wife was sitting there watching it, and my wife said, "I don't think that's fair that Shakur is in his corner because
He was in
because it was like the judge is going to look at."
That's what I was thinking. He was actually he was working the corner.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My wife was like, "The judge is going to look at." She was mad about it.
But that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. At first, Shakur was trying to say it was a robbery till he went and watched it. But I mean, just being honest with you, like when you're a world champion, you get a lot of favoritism at the tournaments.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. So
I'm not saying
I think he should have sat
that's
out.
what happened.
Yeah,
But you do get a lot of favoritism when everybody there is a fan of you. So
right.
I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I just say if you go watch it, the first round, you know, it was a close round. I was just trying to get my timing down because I sparred so many pros for that camp. Like I was used to finding at a slow pace
Right, right.
and figuring them out. So the first round, I already knew I kind of gave it away just because I wasn't busy enough. But then the second and third round,
I didn't think
felt
you
like
lost any round.
I did way. Yeah,
Yeah,
I really
didn't
don't even feel like I lost
yeah.
the first. I just wasn't busy enough. That's it.
Right, right. I didn't think you lost any round, but anybody that if anybody hasn't seen that fight, go to YouTube and look up Zaquin Moses versus Troy Nash.
Great fight.
Huh?
So it was
It
a
was
great
a great
fight.
fight.
It
That
was
was
hype.
that was a great
It
fight.
was hype. I watched it.
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead, Sarab. Back to you.
So like, how did you prepare for that fight? Like what? Like how was the nerves and just like all the talk going on? Like how did you like really prepare? Like how did you study how you was gonna fight him and stuff like that?
Honestly, I wasn't really mainly training for him or nothing. It was like for everybody because I had a lot of guys on my bracket that were actually good. So
32 was a tight.
I went to Vegas for like 8 weeks. I think it was either 8 or 10 weeks. And after the Benavidez fight, I just stayed down there with Robert and his family. So they helped me get ready for that as well. Coach Bullet, Roller Miro's
Yep.
trainer.
Yeah,
I worked
Coach
with him
Bullet.
a lot that camp. And
Shout
then
out Coach Bullet.
Dorian, he's from Arizona, but he's signed by Mayweather as well. He's a southpaw. He helped me as well that camp too.
All right.
Well, with the last chance qualifier, you went through a 56-man bracket. How was the nerves with that? Like seeing all those people in your bracket and it's your first elite tournament. How was that? Like, just going into it, like.
At first, I was like, it's gonna be my first time fighting grown man, but my dad, he kept me calm. I wasn't really nervous, I'm to the point I don't get nervous before fights no more because all the training and all the hard work I put in. So I know as long as I go in there at my 100%, I feel like nobody could beat me. But my dad, he was just telling me like to think back as when I was 14 years old, 15, like when I was young, he been had me sparring grown men that were bigger than me. So it wasn't too much of a difference. It's just smaller gloves now.
Yep. So what's next, Troy? I know you got the trials. You feel confident in the trials?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't know why I'm asking you that.
Who's the competition? Who's the number one at 139?
He is.
For the trials.
Well, they're not going to be, the ones that's on the team, they don't have to compete in the trials. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, so Troy is going to be number one seed, and that he should be.
So the ones that,
those that are on the high,
the Julius Ballos
and how do you feel about
not Ballo, but what's his name? The guy from Maryland.
How do you feel about all of that? Like, how do you feel about the team members not competing, and how do you feel like you're gonna do in the getting on the Olympic team? Like, how do you feel about that whole entire
that's
process?
A good question.
That's a great question. Honestly, I really don't feel like it's fair that they get a shot to get their spot in the Olympics before everybody else. But it is what it is. We just gotta see how everything plays out because in the past everybody that went to the Olympics had to fight in the Olympic trials, and I don't see the point in them not finding the Olympic trials because everybody had to do it before, so them not doing it just don't make sense to me. But it is what it is.
Even if they go to the Pan American Games and qualify, the only thing you fighting at the trials, if you win a trial, the only thing you could be is an alternate.
So is that the reason why the U.S. hadn't won a gold medal since 2004? Because they got the competition watered down, the process watered down.
Rock, that's another.
It's a
Rock, we'll be on here. Listen,
but it's a good question though.
But we'll be on this all day talking about that.
That's true. But look at it like this.
You creating topics to discuss. We'll be on that all day. We will be on that talking about that all day because you're right.
Troy, you the number one at 139. You the best 139 in the world.
Yeah, and I'm ready to show it, but they just got to bring the competition.
I'll bet anything.
So you the best 139 in the world. You ready to show it, but you got some Mickey Mouse rules that won't let you show it.
Yeah, that's all it is. But
I got a question.
I heard about test matches in
when
January.
you go to selection camp. But that's on. Yeah. So you in a great place if the person go ahead, Sarah.
I was just gonna say when you get to selection camp, how you do with the person that's already on the team, will that
does it matter?
Make them?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're in a great place if the person that's at 139 does not level up and medal at the Pan Am Games.
But if they do, and if you still spar them,
yeah, well, I don't. Well, they have
tee
other
up on
qualifiers,
them and you make them look completely just not a good boxer. You outclass them and everything. Will they still take that person?
So I don't know. Well, you and Troy gonna be in the same position.
So Troy, you just got to the elite level, right?
Yeah, this is first
elite tournament. Now, the boxers who've been on the elite team,
right?
How much does the personal relationship that they've established with coaches play out?
I think it plays a
major
part.
They've been going to camps for 2 and 3 and 4 years. What's like the guy from 125, the little short dude?
Who's at 125?
Not Ballo. He's from Maryland, Maryland, from the DMV area. I keep forgetting the guy.
Roscoe?
No, not Roscoe.
Jamal.
Oh, Jamal
Harvey.
Yeah.
Like Harvey's been on the elite team for 3 years now.
I thought he was 25 too.
That's what he said.
He won 25. So I mean, but people like that who've been on the team for 4 and 5 years, establish those relationships and those bonds. How's it going to play out?
We probably had to talk about this another because we'll be forever talking about the rules of this, and because it's a lot, man. It's a lot, and Sarai going to be in the same position Troy is in. You know what I mean? Sarai just turned 18. She just turned 18, so she missed all the qualifiers. She wasn't able to compete in no qualifiers, so she's gonna have to get a wild card to fight in the trials. Yeah. We'll win the trial. She's gonna win the trials.
Exactly. But think about it. I remember in 2016, Teofimo Lopez went through this. Right. Won the trials, and they had to go fight for Nicaragua or somebody.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Troy. Worst case scenario, you win the trials. don't make the Olympic team, that I think that'll make your bag bigger if you decide to turn pro. You know what I mean?
You ready to turn pro?
I feel like I need a few more months to work on a few more things. But honestly, if things don't go like how we got it planned, I got family that lives in Puerto Rico. So I might go fight for that team if things don't go as planned.
Exactly.
Right.
See, that's what Teofimo did.
Right.
It was Venezuela, I think. I think that's where they from.
Now he went to Honduras.
Honduras. Right. Honduras.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
one
what a
of them,
lot of people do.
I know one of them South American countries, Central America, or whatever.
But anyway, champ.
Yeah,
So
Teofimo, that's my guy. I've been on him since like 2015 when he won his first elite tournament, and he was telling me about how he's just gonna fight and win, but he already knows that they're not gonna take him. They're gonna take a guy that he beat. And I was like, that don't make no sense. But I didn't understand the politics back then.
Balderas.
But that's goes to your point. That's why we haven't won a gold medal since 04.
But yeah, but you actually on a similar track to Teofimo.
As far as the men.
Yeah, because I saw a video that Teofimo Senior did, and he was like, Teo didn't really start winning the elite tournaments and national tournaments until the year of the 2016 Olympics.
Right.
That's when he really just took off.
Right.
I know that's when that's the first time I really noticed. But we were just starting out then too, though. But that's when I know. But so you really on kind of a track, kind of like Teo.
Right. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Well,
go ahead.
I was gonna ask like who are you really looking at in your bracket for trials? Like who's like
you calling out anybody?
Like
who's the call out?
Who the best in your opinion? Like
who you calling out, champ?
You get
Make it exclusive.
I don't know because
right here,
I really don't be looking at who's in my bracket. I let my dad do all that, but I really want whoever. I want the best because when I fight the best, it makes me bring out my best and really get in my bag. So, in the last tournament, I really didn't have to get in my bag like that. But I want some competition that's gonna make me like have to show everything I got.
Right. So last chance with easy work at 139.
I wouldn't say easy work because it was grown man in there that was way stronger than me because they way bigger, but. Like skill wise, it was easy work to me.
Easy work.
The man, the truth. I'm telling you. So what you got coming up next, champ? Besides the trials, anything? Just training? You in camp and nothing else coming up? You ain't gonna do nothing?
Nah, just training. We start camp here in a few weeks for that. So for now, I'm just staying in shape. I'm running and stuff here and there every day or every other day. So. Just staying in shape, getting ready for camp, and ready to go shock the world in December.
So I had a question.
Shock the world. Everybody pretty much know now.
How much does the altitude play in regards to your condition and give you an advantage?
Shoot, I feel like when people come down here, they always talk about how hard it is to breathe, like how their chest and stuff hurts. But when we go to different cities for fights, like it don't really, or to me, it doesn't make a difference. Maybe because I'm so used to this altitude. And like my wind is already used to it, but well, actually, hold on. I'll give you an example. When I trained in Vegas for 8 weeks, I came to Colorado for a fight, and it was hard to breathe.
Wow.
So I feel like the altitude really is a big difference.
Oh, yeah. 5,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, because you went to Vegas and you had to reacclimate when you came back to Colorado.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, champ. Well, anyway, before we let you go, we like to play a game on Counterpunch Conversations. In fact, you're the first one to play it. All right. It's called the Greatest of the Greats game. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 5 boxes in different eras. All right. This one is going to be heavyweights from different eras. 5 heavyweights from different eras and tournament style bracket. And you're going to say who's going to win to advance to the next round and then who's going to be the overall winner. Now, when you tell me when we figure out who the overall winner is, who wins that bracket, you got to tell me why. That person. All right. So the 5 heavyweights from different eras is one is Mike Tyson. Of course, you got to be there. Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, Joe Frazier, and Deontay Wilder. Those are the 5 heavyweights. All right.
All right.
All right. So Mike Tyson, we're gonna give him a bye. All right. So you got Jack Dempsey against Joe Louis. Who wins that fight?
I'll probably say Joe Louis because in Jack Dempsey's days, I don't feel like it was that much skill back then.
All right. So now we got Joe Frazier versus Deontay Wilder.
I don't know.
Gotta pick
Deontay Wilder got that knockout punch, but Joe Frazier had some skill. So I'll go with Joe Frazier.
All right. So now you got Mike Tyson against Joe Louis.
Mike Tyson.
All right. So
Mike Tyson with Customato, yeah.
All right. So now you got Mike Tyson against Joe Frazier in the finals.
I'm gonna have to go with Mike Tyson, man. I feel like when his coach was alive, nobody could beat him.
All right. So now Mike Tyson is your champion in that whole bracket. So why? That's why you think because Customato.
Yeah, when I watched a few documentaries on him, and it's crazy how focused he was. I feel like no fighter was ever as focused as that. Like that dude, he was really grounded. He was fighting 12 times a year, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
But he was fighting a lot, so I feel like him being busy, and wasn't he the youngest heavyweight world champion ever?
Yeah, he was.
He won the WBC from Trevor Berbick in '86.
He was young.
He was the youngest heavyweight. Yeah,
because he's younger than Floyd Patterson.
Yeah,
who cuss trained also.
Right. So yeah. So all right. Well, Mike Tyson is the greatest of the greats in heavyweights. Chap, appreciate you, man. You know I got a lot of love and respect for you and your family. Next time I get you and your dad on, because your dad would have talked crazy on here. He would have gave us some call outs, so I get him.
Yeah, I'll just do the fighting. I'll let my dad do the talking.
Yeah. He would have talked crazy. But appreciate you, champ. Appreciate you coming on, and let us know if we can do anything too. We can help you with anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. I appreciate this, and guys, keep going. I like the you guys are like the first people I see doing the podcasting in the boxing scene. So I like this right here. You guys just well put together. So appreciate that's the type of things I like to watch. So
make sure
I just encourage you guys to keep
going.
going.
Appreciate it, champ.
Tell everybody.
Yes, sir. I got you.
My man. All right, Troy. Troy Nash, everybody. 139-pound elite. 139-pound elite champion. Going to the trials, he's going to be a champ. So, Micah, give me the bell. All right, that was pretty cool, talking to Troy. I think Troy's going to go a long way. And in the trials, I think he's going to win that 139 bracket in the trials, too. What y'all think?
I like Troy. Talented. I like his energy also and his attitude.
Oh, of course. He's a good kid. Good kid. But, I want to talk about, I want to highlight another amateur boxer, too, this past tournament, the Last Chance Qualifier, he didn't have a big bracket, but he's been doing things. He's been exploding on the scene and doing great things for many, many years, and that's Elijah Lugo. Elijah Lugo was a youth. He fought in the 176-pound bracket this year. We came up with Elijah Sarai, and Elijah grew up together. You know what I mean? So we find a bunch of pictures out there of Sarai and Elijah, being little. And Elijah's always been a villain. He likes the villain. I've never seen a kid that, most kids like Batman, like Superman. Elijah likes the villains. And he plays the villain part well. But he dominated. He's been dominating on the national scene for a long time since he was a little boy. And the reason I want to talk about him is because right now he's at 23 national titles, I think 23 national titles. And, he got his 23rd one here at these at the national qualifier just passed in Colorado. I'm just looking forward to Elijah doing great things going forward. This next nationals coming up, I'm pretty sure he will win that bracket and get his 24th national title.
Oh yeah, it epitome of hard work and determination. I remember when he first started. We all started. We checked at the sparring. Believe it or not, they were little, but
funny thing is, he was Sarai's first sparring partner. They sparred every day.
Yeah.
Now look at this. Elijah's 176 pounds now. Sarai's 114.
Exactly.
And they used to spar when they was little every day. Every day. Elijah used to make Sarai cry every single day.
Man, I think probably Lugo's boxing, that was our first time actually going anywhere and sparring anybody, was at that gym and sparring Elijah. Right. Elijah had that yellow hair, getting them yellow yellow gloves and stuff like that.
Looking at him right now in my head.
I can remember.
But, you're talking about a 17-year-old with 23 national titles. Right
and think about this, because I can remember he lost his first 10 fights.
Yeah, I think he lost 13.
Yeah, I know he lost the first 10 or 13 fights. And then, so that's what I mean, the epitome of hard work and dedication, determination, and perseverance and moving forward, you know, and achieving, you know, in the sport like, you know, like not many people before him.
I tell you what, you get in the ring and see Elijah standing across from you, you better be good.
Oh, he like a little Spartan.
A little, nothing.
A big Spartan.
Yeah. And he does this thing at the end of his fights now where he, like he does this. I don't even know where it comes from. Michael, where does that come from? When Elijah does this.
That's his signature.
Yeah. Yeah, it's he likes to be the villain, man. But, you know, but what I was getting ready to say was he's got 23 national titles right now. He's not getting ready to go pro. So how many do you think he's going to have before he turns pro? I mean, he's got 23. He'll win nationals this year. He's only youth. So now he got the whole next year to be elite.
He'll probably end up with 30.
Easily 30.
Which is probably which maybe the record.
So you got 4 tournaments. He'll end
up,
no, 30 is not the record.
What's the record?
Because Cash Flow got 37.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Cash Flow got 37. But anyway, Elijah Lugo, man, is you know, he's been doing his thing for a long time, and people that don't know him, they just think he is because he'll put this shell on, but he's probably, you know, I really love Elijah. Elijah's a really good kid. He's very, very, very smart.
Yeah, I always liked how he boxed because Elijah was always very, very. Even when he was young, he was always pretty technical. I mean, like he always used his jab. Like he was he really one of the first boxers that I saw when they were like 8, 9, 10 years old that would just really just had like a piston like jab and work behind the jab. So I mean, I always liked how he fought from a technical standpoint.
You ever seen him get tired?
Nah, none of them folk at Lugo boxing get tired.
I've never seen Elijah tired ever.
And throw 100 punches.
Yeah, I've never seen him tired. But you know, great job to Elijah for the last chance qualifier, getting your 23rd national title. Looking forward to seeing great things from him. I know he'll win the nationals and get his 24th title, and then do it all again next year in 2024. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Elijah Lugo, man. We love you, buddy. Good job. Micah, give me that bell. All right. This part of the show I like to call Rock's Conspiracy Theories. Rock, you the most... I've never heard somebody with as much conspiracies as you have when it comes to boxing. A lot of times, sometimes you're right, but a lot of times, man, it just cracks me up, the conspiracies that you have. But I think we're going to talk about your boy, Zaire Rahim versus Rocky Juarez in 2004. That was a crazy... I might agree with whatever you talk about on this because I watched that fight not too long ago, man. That was insanity, man.
Yeah, I mean...
The way that it was. But go ahead.
That fight right there is... I mean, people... That fight was probably almost 20 years ago, right. And people are still writing
2004.
articles. Yeah, that's 19 years ago. People are still writing articles about it. It's listed as, you know, if you Google it, it's listed as one of the 10 worst referee boxing matches.
It's number 3.
And it's actually number 3.
Right.
So that if that tells you something out of the tens of thousands of boxing matches, that one is number 3 in regards to the egregiousness from the referee. I mean, if you watch that fight, Zaire Rahim versus Rocky Juarez, it's self-explanatory. The bout took place in Texas,
right.
And you know if you know about boxing, then you know in a lot of cases Texas is synonymous with bad decisions, bad referees, and home cooking. Don't take my word for it. Take Paulie the Magic Man Malinagi's word when he felt like he got robbed in Texas and
right.
and snapped on HBO and because he snapped and because of his post fight reaction, he actually got a rematch with the person that he felt he got robbed against.
Right.
But Texas, from what I understand, Texas is like synonymous with home cooking.
But why you think it? What makes you think it's a conspiracy? What's the conspiracy behind that fight, though? What did you?
I know Rahim personally,
right.
From that standpoint, and I think it actually stems from the amateurs, and when you were amateur boxer back then, promoters would sign fighters. Well, not sign fighters, but they would be giving fighters money.
Right.
$5,000, $10,000 here, sending them to Western Union. That was before Cash App.
Right.
Sending them to Western Union to pick up cash and things of that nature right there. I mean, you heard Floyd talk about it from that standpoint as well too. But from what I understand and speaking with Raheem from that standpoint, there was some bad blood built up because he was going to sign with was supposed to sign with one promoter, ended up signing with Top Rank, and it just so happened when that fight came around, he was against a fighter from the stable that wanted to sign him and maybe sponsored him some.
But what
during
did
his
that have to
amateur
do
career.
with the Juarez fight? Why do you feel like they robbed him of that fight though? What was the conspiracy behind that though?
I mean, Raheem dog walked Rocky Warrior.
Nah, I agree, but I'm just trying to figure out why. I'm just trying to figure out what was the conspiracy though, because this is a conspiracy theory that you alleged.
Well, I mean,
what's the conspiracy?
The conspiracy theory was actually, I think it was number one to give Rocky Juarez the fight. That's
Right.
number one.
Why?
To make him a champion, but also
Why, though?
to rob Raheem. I mean,
Why? I'm asking you why. You feel like it's a conspiracy. Why? We all seen the fight. Listen, I agree that something was going on, but I don't necessarily know why it was a conspiracy. That's what I'm
Rocky
asking.
Juarez's promoter, in my personal opinion, the fight was so egregious, and from the referee's standpoint, I think that the referee was paid off. All right, because other than that, or just plain out stupid. But it didn't make any sense for Lawrence Cole.
I mean, Juarez was holding the whole fight.
Juarez was holding the whole fight, and then Raheem was getting penalized the whole fight.
The whole fight, right.
When Juarez was putting his head in his chest because Raheem would put his glove on Rocky Juarez's neck.
Right.
Not even holding him down and putting his weight on him, but just simply putting his glove on him while the guy in a clinch. From that standpoint, I think that personally, what I think is that I think what Raheem experienced in this fight, in regards to Lawrence Cole and this decision, was essentially payback, for not signing with a certain promoter.
So you think the promoter called it in, and the referee had to?
Who else would? Who would benefit? Follow the money. Think about it. Who else would benefit? I mean, if a fight is fixed, or if there's a controversial decision.
Now, be careful how you say that now, because we in boxing, we don't want to start putting the thought out there that they fixing boxing now.
You know damn well they fixing fights in boxing.
You feel like they fixing fights?
The mob. Well, I don't know how much control the mob has now, but there are some things that are unexplainable.
How do you know this though, Rob?
Look at the movies.
My man said, "Look at the movies.
Look at the movie, Raging Bull. Look at Raging Bull. All them movies. Look at the movies.
That's the movies. So you saying art is imitating?
It's a well-known fact. I mean, I'm not an FBI agent, and I haven't read any FBI files. But boxing and gambling. One of the reasons why they want to keep gambling try to keep gambling out of mainstream sports is because they want to keep corruption out. That's why Pete Rose is not in the NBA, is not in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
This is why this segment is conspiracy theories.
Yeah, what
you saying sound good, but it ain't grounded in, like, we can't prove this. Like, I watched the Raheem and Juarez fight, right? Mm-hmm. I watched it, and
what's your explanation?
I don't know, man. Maybe the ref just was stupid.
No. What's your listen?
I can't prove that he was paid off.
We can't prove that the guy's paid off. All right.
Disclaimer.
What disclaimer?
These are not the actual thoughts of Counterpunch Conversations. The views expressed here are rock pits. Go ahead.
Sound like Joe Budden. We are not serious.
We just don't.
You should not take us serious. Everything I'm saying right now is for play.
I just don't want to get sued, bro.
Everything I'm saying right now is not for play.
What that say?
We are not professionals.
What about Sonny Liston? Well, we already know, but I'm not.
But it's Sonny Liston.
We already know, though.
But you just said, how do we know?
I'm saying we know the stories that's out there,
bro. You can't know and not know. Either you do or you don't.
Well, what I'm saying is we don't have no proof that
ain't got no proof that Sonny Liston was in the mob, but we know Sonny Liston was part of the mob. I mean, there are people.
You getting off into other conspiracies because Sonny Liston was murdered
in this fight right here. All right, the referee's behavior was atypical of a referee. Of
All right,
an
well,
official.
let me read this.
You
this
an
is
official,
from,
right?
This
Go
is
ahead.
from Mills Lane.
Go
Right?
ahead.
You remember Mills Lane?
I remember Mills
Rest
Lane.
in peace, Mills Lane. Mills Lane was a good referee. But this is what Mills Lane said. Mills Lane wrote a letter about this fight. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
All right, I'm gonna read the letter that Mills Lane wrote. He said, "Dear," he wrote this letter to Richard Cole, who was the head of the Texas Boxing Commission at that time. Right? Said, "Dear Mr. Cole, I have reviewed the tape of the fight between Juarez and Raheem. From the first round through the end of the fight, Robert Gonzalez interfered with Raheem's legitimate fight tactics and strategy. Mr. Gonzalez's conduct as a referee was despicable. He was blatant in his ongoing attempt to interfere with the flow of the fight. From my view, points should not have been deducted from Raheem. Juarez on many occasions held on to Raheem's glove, and as a result, his head would come into direct contact with the face of Raheem. Raheem's response to control the head of Juarez was a natural and legitimate technique. Ali often used this technique. Juarez punched on the brake several times and was never warned. In short, this was the worst performance by any referee that I have witnessed. Raheem should have not been penalized for suffering a loss because of a referee's conduct. In closing, I would urge the commissioner's office to rule this fight a no contest." That's from Mills Lane.
Exactly. And then even after that,
No, I agree that
Larry-
I agree that the fight. That's what I'm saying. You see what Mills Lane said, right? He said it was despicable how he just. But I agree that the referee was just, maybe it was a Mexican thing, man. I don't know. Maybe because they was both Mexican. I don't know that they was bought off though. We putting that thought out there.
Let me say this. I've known Zahir Raheem since 2008.
Okay.
I watched this fight.
Right.
And I can remember watching this fight in 2004 and being just angry at what was going on.
I get it.
Now this is before Chad Pitts ever threw a punch, before I ever held a mitt. And I didn't know. I was like Roger Mayweather said, I ain't know shit about boxing.
We on the same page.
Without
but
question.
we're talking about, you mentioned earlier that the ref was bought off
Had
by
to be
the promoters.
It had to be.
Who was the promoter that you saying was at the head of this conspiracy? Who was it?
That I had to ask Raheem about it. We had to let Raheem speak on that.
All right. Well,
But I know what he told me.
I'm just saying we got to be careful when we talking about conspiracies that people was bought off. Now,
We know
Gonzalez is dead
he did.
because I tried to reach him for comment.
And may he rest in hell.
Oh man, that's messed up, bro.
Anybody, that dude's dirty, man.
God bless the dead. The views expressed by Rock Pitts is not the views of Counterpunch Conversation.
I don't like dishonest people. And I especially do not like dishonest people who are dishonest towards my people. I make no apologies about that. I'm from Alabama.
I see. I get it, but it was definitely a horrible fight. It's number 3 worst fight in history. I mean, Raheem clearly won the fight, man. Or you could see where the referee interfered in the entire fight, and he put himself in the fight. So it was terrible, man.
Put himself in the fight deliberately in the fight. I mean, like I said, you are an official.
Right.
All right. You referee hundreds of matches.
Right.
You watch thousands of matches.
Right.
Right. So in your expert opinion, you know when something's awry.
Right.
Now, this guy is not like the referee in this situation was a spring chicken.
Right.
I mean, dude's 70 years old in the ring right there.
Right.
You know, waddling around the ring. I mean, he's 60, 70 years old right in that ring. Right. So he's an experienced referee. This is a world championship fight.
Right.
And it's on HBO. And if Larry Merchant, Manuel Stewart, and Jim Lampley,
Yeah, they all said
who exactly,
Yeah.
who are notorious for being anti-boxers of Raheem's ilk and Raheem's style.
Right.
If they said the conduct of the referee was egregious,
Well, Mills Lane said it should have been ruled a no contest.
and Mills Lane, you know, Mills Lane is probably the godfather of modern boxing from a referee standpoint. Mills Lane was almost as famous as Mike Tyson. Mills Lane, Larry Steele,
Richard Steele,
Mills Lane, Richard Steele, Hazard.
Oh yeah, Hazard. I forgot his first name.
I mean, those other than boxers, they were famous. I mean, them and Michael Buffer.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were famous.
Right. Well, anyway, so anybody go check that fight out. Rocky Juarez versus Zaire Rahim, 2004. You know, comment in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about that fight, because, you know, I agree with Rock that it was definitely
egregious.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know that Rock proved that this is conspiracy.
I may not prove
this is his conspiracy theory. I mean, anyway,
the one thing about conspiracies, and even in when you're in a court of law, all right, there's a certain thing called circumstantial evidence. And one thing that prosecutors and people would tell you is that they'll use the term knew or should have known.
Right.
The referee in this situation knew or should have known that it was some bullshit.
We agree. I just don't think that Rock has proven that it was a conspiracy that somebody got paid off. Anyway.
Just like aliens, Rock, baby. We don't know that they're here either.
Thank you for your conspiracy theory.
But we know aliens are here.
Give me the bell. Thank y'all for joining. I think it was a great... I think this was a great episode. What you think, Rock?
Excellent.
Got to talk to Troy Nash. Excited about that.
Yep. Great young man.
Yeah. Pay-per-view. If pay-per-view was killed boxing.
Great topic.
Thank everybody for joining Counterpunch Conversations. Hey, if you would, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Counterpunch Conversations. If you follow us on Instagram, you know, it's at @counterpunch_conversations. Comment on these and let us know what you think about, you know, if pay-per-view killed boxing. Let us know also if you watched the Rocky Juarez Zaire Rahim fight. You know, but until next time, I'm Sheik. It's my co-host Rock. Thank you for joining Counterpunch Conversations. All right, Rock. Peace out, bro.
My brother. Next time.